What's up, Facebook and YouTube? Real quick video. I'm just going to deal with one of these comments on the Yakub's creation story video that I just did. I'm going to be dealing with a lot of more comments in the future on these videos because I see a lot of them that I can really teach y'all a lot from. So this comment come from a guy named Khalifa of the Most High. The reason I chose to go over this comment right here is because it's a prime example of what I'm talking about, the contradictions we see in these communities. So let's go over it. He say, I think before you draw your conclusion of the Yakub story, you should have started from the beginning of Yakub's story as to why he decided to create white people. Let's stop right there and just deal with that one line. And let's understand why Yakub decided to create white people, since for some reason he think I don't know that. I'm staying calm and professional on this video because I really want to teach the brother. So if you listening, I'm going to free your mind if you put your ego to the side here. Now, you said that I don't know why Yakub created white people. Either I don't know or Farrakhan don't know, because I just went with what the minister said. Now, this story originated from the Nation of Islam under Minister Farrakhan, who learned it from his teacher. So if you saying that I'm drawing conclusions based on a false foundation of not knowing why Yakub created white people, that's a lie. It can only be a few reasons. Either we created them to be slaves, like you hear in a lot of these countries' communities, or like the minister just said in his video, we created them to see as evil had the same likeness as good. In other words, to see as evil could prevail in the flesh equal to good. We all pressed play on a video and heard the minister say why Yakub created them out of his mouth. The why was never a question. That was never a question. So either I'm wrong or the minister wrong. The minister told us why Yakub was created. So already this first line that you put in the comments is irrelevant. Now let's move to the next one. You said as a whole, black people did not create white people. It was the doing of a single man and his followers. Well, check this out, my brother. That's a big contradiction. You said all black people didn't create white people. It was just Yakub and his followers. So don't link that to all black people. That's what this guy just told me. But this the same guy right here who will say we built the pyramids. All black people didn't build the pyramids. It was just a single pharaoh and his followers, right? Right? All black people weren't teleporting, and all black people weren't pharaohs and kings and gods back in the ancient world. But I still hear Negroes saying we was gods. We built pyramids. But it wasn't all of us. It was just a small few of us. But all of us take the credit for that. But when I say we created white people according to this story, you say, no, just a few Negroes did that. Just Yakub and his followers did that. We didn't do that. But we built them pyramids, though, buddy. So we can't have it just the way we want it. That's what I mean by not keeping it real. So if we gonna just leave Yakub and his followers out in the cold and say that was them, they ain't linked to us, then we can't take credit for the pyramids and none of that good stuff neither. We got to quit being hypocrites. You can't just take what you want us to be up all as a whole associated with when it's beneficial to your argument. Now, the minister just said in his video, we created white people. He didn't single out Yakub. He said in his statement, you are a scientific experiment that we did ourselves. He didn't say that Yakub and his followers. He said we. So like I said, we're going to take credit for the good. We got to take credit for the bad. If we're going to think holistically on everything else, then we got to take the credit for this Yakub creation story too. Or do like I said and get rid of the baloney. So let's address this next line because this guy is clearly inaccurate so far. He said, you are giving your listeners the impression that this was an overall mission of the black race. I never gave my listeners the impression that it was an overall mission of the black race to create white people. I simply said that we sure in the hell take all of the credit for it. So it ain't like I'm giving my listeners the impression of anything. The whole world already got the impression from all of our black leaders like Farrakhan and everybody. How my little brother Sanchez come giving the world some impression? I'm coming trying to undo the impression that's already been given by the black conscious community. And that impression is we gods, we created white people and they devils. And my thing was, if we gods and we righteous and we created evil devils, how could we be righteous and still conceive of evil? That's the same thing I had against the Christian church. How can your God be so holy and spot free but still have traits like jealousy, which is immature, and still create evil like Satan? So none of it makes sense. And if I want to accept it from those deceivers, I want to accept it from these deceivers. I don't care if they black and look like me. That's y'all problem, letting these folks play on your emotions. I'm clearly sitting here putting the facts up here. You can't argue with them, but in your attempts to try to argue with them, you look pretty foolish. Now, I'm trying to stay respectful and address this thing and free your mind, my brother, but it does sound foolish what you're saying here. And for everybody who want to comment on this guy's post and help free his mind, please get on this video and reply to it and free this brother's mind. I ain't said one lie in the video. I ain't giving nobody no impression that this was the mission of the overall black race. I'm trying to undo the impression that the black race is constantly perpetuating. We say we're gods and we the original man because of this Yaqub story. So even though if it wasn't our mission, we wasn't with Yaqub back in the day saying, yeah, let's create white folks. Today, we take the credit for what Yaqub did. So if we going to take the credit for it and say we gods, we created everybody and we created these devils, then we got to accept the fact that, listen, we created something evil, so there had to be some evil in us. Whoever invented the gun, y'all, I'm sorry, there had to be some evil in them. Whoever invented the nuclear bomb, I'm sorry, y'all, there has to be a degree of evil in that person. Why can't we keep it real? If we say we created this evil creature called a white man, then there had to be some evil in us to create this evil creation. How can something that's solely good create bad? It makes no sense. That's all I'm trying to do is make sense out of it. But when I lay these facts on the table and show that they make no sense, people shoot the messenger when all I'm trying to do is get the truth. And it's like, wow, we want to be set free without the truth. The truth will set us free, but we want to be set free without the truth. When you go to telling black people the truth, we get comments like this. That makes no sense, my brother. None of these statements make no sense, and I'm showing you that line for line. So let's move on to the next one. You said before you knock this story, you should go back and find out Yaqub's reason. I already told you Yaqub's reason. So did the minister. So maybe Farrakhan need to go back and find out Yaqub's reason too, because all Brother Sanchez did was go by what the minister said. So what are you talking about? All I'm doing is going off what the minister said. I didn't make none of this up. The man said we created him as an experiment. You telling the minister he wrong? So maybe he need to go find out Yaqub's reason with me too then. Now let's move on. He said, furthermore, you sound as if you want to erase and forget all the damage white people have done to the black race. I don't want to erase and forget none of the damage white people done to the black race. What I want to do is go all the way back to the root and see their origins. These are $1 million questions. Don't you know these are some of the biggest lectures and videos we see all in the conscious community? Where did white people come from? How did the races get created? So now that I'm coming with the facts to get us closer to the truth, now you want to attack me with personal attacks. I sound like I want to erase what the white people did when I got videos on this channel calling out the white slavery. When nobody come and attacking me then, but now that I'm laying these facts on the table telling my people, listen, y'all, we got to re-question this story because I don't think the racist was created this way. Now I got a pass for white slavery. How did we get on that? When I'm trying to question their origins and get some truth and validity on where they originate from. And the video I put out clearly put us back on a drawing board so we can get the truth. But if you don't want the truth, you would come with these type of personal attacks when all I am is just a young man trying to get the truth. Why would I excuse white people for slavery? And that's beating around the bush. Where did they learn this slavery from? According to this story, it'll be hypocritical for you to say, I want to erase and forget all the damage that white people did to the black race when we did it first to create the white race, according to the story. According to the story, we put ourselves through worse atrocities than that to create the white race. Now that they created and repeating what we did and we're living karma right now, according to this story, I'm excusing them for slavery. If you ask me, I sound more like the scientists going back to the board re-questioning this failed experiment. Where did we go wrong? Or either this story is wrong and we didn't create them and there's good and evil in all people. Because according to this story, we was evil before white people existed, and we put ourselves through all of the slavery and atrocity. So if you saying I'm going to excuse and forget all the damage that white people did to the black race, I'm not going to excuse what the whites did, and I'm not going to excuse what the blacks did either. See, now you're being hypocritical. Just like I'm not going to excuse these white cops that shoot the blacks in the street, I'm not going to excuse these blacks that shoot each other every day in the streets either, my brother. We can't be one-sided. And that's all I'm pointing out. He said no matter how white people got here doesn't excuse what they done in the past, present, and future. That goes for us too. What we done in the past is a direct result of what we going through right now today and what we going to be going through in the future. You said no matter how they got here doesn't excuse what they done in the past, present, and future. That goes for us too. Doesn't matter how we got here. We could have flew through many serious stargates, or we could have came from the stars. All of these stories you like to tell. Don't matter how we got here. It doesn't excuse the fact that according to this story, what we did in the past was create an evil experiment. And now, according to this story, that evil experiment is ruling over us. And that's our punishment. That's karma. According to this story, according to the story, Farrakhan said what the right race is doing is divine will. So I don't have to excuse what they doing if it's divine will. It don't matter if I excuse it or not. It's divine will, according to the story. So think about what you're saying, brother. I just wanted to pick apart your comment just to show everyone the mentality that we're under. And I'm trying to raise us from this mentality so that we question and get more knowledge and intuition. Because this brother right here, he looks older than me. That's why I have so much respect in this video for the brother. But you can learn from someone younger than you. And I just proved that on this video. So his last line was, and yes, you are a coon and a willing bootlicker and a misguided fool. Now, this guy looks old enough to be my granddaddy, and he's calling a young black man these words. A young black man who sincerely made a video just to reach out and get the truth about a story that was taught to us that I found a lot of flaws in. Now, any other group of people would do this, they would commend that young man. They would say, hey, that's a good suggestion right there that you pointed out. You know, our leaders had this story for years, and you're a bright young man to point out these, discrepancies. This is awesome. Let's check this out. And it would be an opportunity for us to get truth and make progress. But like I said, we don't want truth. We want fairy tale stories. We want ego. We want to call each other coons and bootlickers and all of that. We don't want to decipher and get the truth. So here's a man that's my senior. He can't really argue with none of the facts I presented, so he resorted to name calling. I just picked apart every sentence of your comment, and hopefully everyone else in the future who feel like you feel will think before they put a comment down there in that box, because I'm going to teach from your ignorance. And ignorance doesn't mean that I'm insulting you. It's just mean that you ignoring, okay? The root word of ignorant is ignore. And you ignored all of the facts I presented in the video because you was blinded by your ego. So no, we don't excuse the past, what white people did in slavery. And we sure in hell don't excuse our past, what we did for creating them. According to this story, we don't excuse our past for inventing slavery, because they want to know to do slavery if one, we wouldn't created them, and two, we wouldn't have invented slavery, because we had to invent this form of divide and conquer and slavery system to even weed out the lesser genes of our people to create the white race, according to the story. So even if you say it wasn't all black people who wanted to create white people, we all stroke our ego and we all accept the credit for what Yaqub did. So we gotta accept the fact that it's divine will that they rule over us, because that's what comes along with the Yaqub story. So free your mind, brother Khalifa. I had to calm myself down before making this video, because I really didn't appreciate all of the name calling coming from someone that's a senior. But hopefully with this video, I freed your mind and I gave others a lot of more insight from this powerful response. So until next time, peace and much love.